when I was looking at the economic and social rights scores that we have for India, India's not yet in our survey, and we would love it to be. We currently have 33 countries for which we've been able to produce data using the survey, and we're limited only by funds. So if you want your country or your region to have civil and political rights scores, then you might want to speak to some people who have deep pockets and see if they'd like to fund us to expand to your region. But India, we do have good economic and social rights data. So if we go over to the quality of life tab and go down to look at the time trends, I noticed particularly that the right to housing, if we want to just have a look at housing as a whole, has this shallow but steady improvement line. And when I looked at the indicators that made that up, the right to basic sanitation, I think, was the steeper one. So if you look at basic sanitation, which means pretty much do you have your own indoor toilet in your house, that's the progress that India has made over the last 10 years. And I think it's significant. It gives me real hope because it says that improvement is possible. Nothing is set in stone, and poverty is not an insoluble problem. India has been making steady progress, and we would love to see that continue. It's also hopeful because it tells us that even at their current rate of improvement, that they're doing well. There really is a lot of improvement they could make even without more wealth. Our score says that on the current score of about 60%, it says that on their current level of wealth right now, India could have another 40% of people having indoor toilets. And we can even convert that into numbers of real people who are going to have access to proper sanitation. So Susan, I think you did some calculations of these numbers along with Livy, one of our researchers. Do you recall the numbers in India? If India managed to raise its score from 60 to 100% by really focusing on this, what would that mean for people in India?
Absolutely, it would be an amazing transformation. An additional 530 million people would be able to have access to basic sanitation. And imagine what that would do for health.
So Anne-Marie's taking you now to our other website, humanrightsmeasurement.org, because we have a section called Country Spotlights, and we've written an article with that figure in it. So on this article in India, we've done those calculations, those population calculations for all of our economic and social rights scores. So we've said for everything that we measure, if the country got to 100%, which is what we calculate is realistically possible at their level of income, what would that mean? How many people? And we find that 530 million people would have access to basic sanitation. We find that India could lift over 730 million people out of absolute poverty now without any increase in per capita income. I mean, obviously not right now. There are, it's not an overnight solution we're talking about, but money is not in the way, and that also gives me real hope.